As long as I can remember, there were only two ways to go. One was along the old school highway, the other was the wrong road. Some things come clearer as I fill another page. The right to be yourself and happy, gifts that God gave. Let us dance for love while we search for the truth. May God bless us, everyone, in the folly of our youth. May we find our way to be our own, and that there's no angry Father waiting when we get home. Best I can determine, all the shame, guilt, and brimstone were dreamed up by an ancient council. We were afraid our dreams would roam, but before I come full circle, and the old school is then mine, I'd like a chance to leave the children a God that is love and kind. Let us dance for love while we search for the truth. May God bless us, everyone, in the folly of our youth. May we find our way to be our own, and that there's no angry Father waiting when we get home. Let us dance for love while we search for the truth. May God bless us, everyone, in the folly of our youth. May we find our way to be our own, and that there's no angry Father waiting when we get home. not know? Do you not know about sorrow and Julian? Do you not know? Do you not know about pain? I said, Julian, do you not know? Do you not know about hunger? Julian, do you not know? Do you not know about shame? She said, all will be well. All will be well. All manner of things will be well. I said, Julian, do you not know? Do you not know about loneliness? And Julian, do you not know? Do you not know about disease? And I said, Julian, do you not know? Do you not know about cruelty? I said, Julian, it's too much. It's brought me to my knees. And she said, all will be well. All will be well. All manner of things will be well. And she said, no one does not know about sorrow. May no one does not know about pain. She said, no one does not know about hunger, and no one does not know about shame. She said, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. She said, no one does not know about loneliness, and no one does not know about disease. She said, no one does not know about cruelty. She said, I know it's too much. Brought me to my knees, where I heard, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. She said, baby girl, do you not know about tenderness? She said, baby girl, do you not know about friends? She said, baby girl, do you not know about the spirit? And she said, baby girl, do you not know it's only love that never ends? It's only love that never ends. And so all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. And so all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well.
Good morning. Welcome to All Souls Unitarian Universalist Church. You have found your way to our virtual service. And if you are accustomed to seeing Reverend Barbara Jarrell in this space, no worries. She will be back next week. And meanwhile, as always, we thank her for the use of her original music. And we also this morning thank Reverend Meg Barnhouse, who is minister of the First UU Church of Austin, for that wonderful song that has been one of my favorites for years, as has Barbara's song, No Angry Father. I've just always loved both of those songs. We are a member congregation of the Unitarian Universalist Association, and whatever your age, race, orientation, identity, ability, political affiliation, or background, whoever you are, if you want to worship with us, then you are welcome. In our tradition, we use the word worship in the context of its roots in Old English, which meant essentially worthship, or to give worth to something. And so this is where we elevate and contemplate matters of worth. And because our matters of worth are many and varied, we are united in this faith not by a creed that all must profess to believe, but by a covenant, by the promises we make to each other for how we will be together in community and how we will work together for a better world. And we do have some announcements this morning, so I am going to turn it over to our board member representing our board today, Ken Peterson. And thanks for being here, Ken. And you might tell a little story about your battle scars there. And you're muted.
Yeah, I was walking into work the other day, marveling at this wonderful new building they were putting up at LSU Health Science Center. And as I was marveling, I forgot to notice the pothole in front of me, and I did a face first onto the concrete. So that's where this came from. It actually doesn't feel very bad at all right now. It hurt at first, but I'm fine, so I'll get over it. All right, you are invited to join us on Zoom for a virtual coffee hour immediately following the service. The Zoom link will be in the Facebook comments. Every month, we choose a local or regional organization in line with our principles and values as a recipient of our non-pledge collection plate contributions. We call this Give Away the Plate, and our Give Away the Plate recipient for September is North Louisiana Interfaith. All Souls has been a member congregation of Interfaith since 2005. Interfaith unites people across all lines that might otherwise divide us: race, faith, socioeconomics, and geography, to work together on issues that come up from our congregations and to create political change at the local and statewide level. To give to Interfaith, you can go online to our donation site, choose collection plate and the amount of gift you want to give to Interfaith. If you want to, you can mail us a check and make it out to All Souls and put Give Away the Plate or Interfaith in the memo line. If you want to write one check for pledge and one for Interfaith, just use the memo to indicate the portion of the check goes to each. Our volunteer of the month is Bob Jordan, and well deserved that it is. Bob has served the church in multiple ways for many years, but during the pandemic, he has really stepped it up. In addition to singing in the virtual choir and occasionally lending his solo musical talents to our services, he has been driving, buying food, and generally lending assistance to, whenever possible, to Louisiana aid to immigrants in detention. He has also helped out building and grounds and was a frequent contributor to the Light Brigade. He volunteers faithfully at the Highland Blessing Dinner, not only as a server, but also playing music. And all of us, and all as if that wasn't enough, he teaches ESL classes in his spare time. I don't know where he gets any spare time. Adult religious education is meeting every Sunday from 9 a.m. and newcomers are always welcome. I've been attending this for the last 6 months and I find it a very uplifting experience. We are currently doing an anti-racism series in keeping with our congregation's adoption of the 8th principle. Next week, we'll be looking at racial disparities in healthcare. The Zoom link will be in the comments and also goes out every Friday in our weekly email, in addition to the leading meditation here on Sunday for our services. Larry Andros will lead a weekly sitting Buddhist meditation followed by a teaching at 10:30 a.m. on Saturday mornings, again on Zoom. If you wish to get the link and join the group, email Larry and at the address that will be in the comments. We have numerous opportunities to get together online throughout the week. And Kathy Osich is organizing some small group activities for people who want to get together safely in person, and can find all that information in the comments as well. Melissa may have, is Melissa here? at any rate, the Knoll Pantry Collection Day was today, and Melissa, I believe, will be at church at 2:00. And I think Bob Jordan's going to be playing banjo as well. So that you have that to look forward to. And I would just like to mention something. One of the proudest accomplishments that I have had as an adult was getting rid of the angry father within me and replacing him with a loving and caring father. So I'm really looking forward to the service today.
Thank you, Ken, and thank you for that personal note at the end. Yeah, we should. I thought we would have Melissa Lewis on here this morning, but she will be here at the church this afternoon outside. If you would like to bring food for the Noel Food Pantry, they are asking for Jiffy cornbread mix, cereal, any size. It can be the big boxes or the little assortments, and canned fruit, any kind. So, and I think Bob is going to be here playing music, living into his Volunteer of the Month status. So we really appreciate that. I wanted to mention too that North Louisiana Interfaith has done some really important things. We've been able to work with partner congregations and really do some important things. We got a renter's code added to the property standards ordinance in Shreveport. A good while ago, we got the buses to run at night for people that need to work night shifts. We started our congregation's work with Interfaith actually 16 years ago during the Hurricane Katrina response. So this is kind of a sad anniversary in a way that we are dealing once again with hurricane response, which is our current the issue currently that we're dealing with in Interfaith and Together Louisiana. Well, we will also be looking toward the future with our statewide organization at improving air quality monitoring in the state. We'll be looking at redistricting at the federal, state, and local level and how we might have an influence there. And hopefully getting the reforms that the governor has made to our industrial tax exemption program enshrined into the Constitution, which is going to be a heavy lift. So if you're not involved with Interfaith, I really recommend that you think about it. And there will be information in the comments on how to do that. And thank you all so much for being here. I'm going to ask you now to do something a little different. Reverend Barbara usually says, let your shoulders relax down from your ears. I want you to do that, but first, I want you to hunch them up. I want you to really exaggerate. I want you to kind of hunch them up like that. And then take a big deep breath and let them down and feel that. Feel what that letting down feels like, that relaxation. And then take another nice deep breath. And as you let it out, relax them a little more. And I'll tell you one more thing that is borrowed a little bit from Reverend Barbara. She hasn't done it recently, but I think it's a good one. And I'll add just a little bit to it. Let's take one hand and put it on this shoulder. As you are able, take the other hand, put it on the other shoulder. And not only give yourself a hug, because we've all been missing lots of hugs from lots of people. Not only do that, but then try switching your hands and do it again. And if you can, just kind of feel a stretch and kind of a loosening of those muscles in your upper back. If you're like me, you've been spending a lot of time at a computer. And you'll find that really helps. You can do that a couple of times if you want to. Thank you, and join me now in the spirit of worship. Sometimes all you can do is pray. Have you ever heard anybody say that? Have you said it or thought it? And have you said it or thought it very recently, like this week? This world right now, Afghanistan, the storm and its unprecedented effect on so much of the nation, the new bounty hunter abortion law in Texas, and all of this against the backdrop of an unnecessarily worsening global pandemic and the most polarized political environment that many of us can remember. It's too much. It's too much. We are not hopeless. We are not helpless. There are other things we can do, even when we think that all we can do is pray. But one thing that we can do that may help us not only to do what is ours to do, but to be still and discern and know what that is prayer in one form or another. The last song before we opened this morning was one of my favorites, as I said, All Will Be Well by Reverend Meg Barnhouse, and it's based on the words of the 14th century Christian mystic Julian of Norwich. And if you haven't read anything about Julian, I hope that you will. I am reading her Revelations of Divine Love right now. And you will hear the song again, and you'll have a chance to sing along near the end of the service. There'll be lyrics and all of that. But in 1373, when Julian was 30 years old, she was very ill and close to death, when she had a series of 16 visions of the life and passion of Jesus. And she recovered, and she wrote a book about her visions that's thought to be the first published work in English by a woman who could be identified. Her visions revealed to her a God of pure love, a world in which sin and suffering were inevitable, but where redemption far outweighed any harm of the fall. This was obviously something different to her than what she had learned from church teaching. But the Jesus of her visions spoke to her of that encounter, and of that encounter she said, "He said not, thou shalt not be tempested, thou shalt not be travailed, thou shalt not be diseased. But he did say, thou shalt not be overcome. And he said, all shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well." Words that can still bring comfort and hope even to a 21st century Unitarian Universalist whose prayers might sound a bit more like this song by Carolyn McDade that is probably sung every Sunday in more than a few UU congregations. This is Spirit of Life. And now I'll ask Ava Kate and Jackson Peck to lead us in the children's chalice lighting.
We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the helping hands. This is the church of the loving heart. Together with mind, hands, and heart, we care for the earth and each other.
Thank you. We are all still learning that last part, and you all did a wonderful job. And we do care for the church and the earth, so thank you for that. Our chalice lighting this morning, the words come from a dear friend of mine, Teresa Honey Youngblood. And I had other names. Their words will show up later. But this is what Teresa said. As we light our chalice here in the sanctuary. In times of need and inspiration, I open up a streaming prayer channel. The baby has a high fever. The changing wind and the smell of cinnamon stir a sense of wellness in me. The ceasefire has lasted 2 days. The starfish are all dying, and how can we all go on living on an earth without starfish? And my message joins the smooth, silent static made by us little humans the world over as we tap into concepts we barely understand, but that sustain us just the same. Fierce and desperate hope, a search for what is right and true, and a wholehearted embrace of the one whose breath fills our own lungs. And now I'll lead us in our unison affirmation. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve human need, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the sacred. Thus do we covenant with each other. And our hymn is Gather the Spirit, which was written by Jim Scott and will be performed by the All Souls Choir, thanks to Reverend Barbara and her magical virtual choir skills. And I want to say thanks again to all those brave choir members who have made videos and participated in the various songs we've done. Back in the world, when we recklessly got together with no masks on our faces and we had classes for children in small rooms, remember that? In the 2nd through 5th grade class, every other year, we made these prayer beads. And if you can see them, it's a keychain for a child's house key, or maybe just a backpack tag, or later in life for the car key when it's entrusted. But the prayer beads spell the word this, T-H-I-S. And yes, we only did one letter per week because Unitarian Universalists like anagrams, and we knew what could happen otherwise. And that's all I'll say about that. But the idea was that each week we'd add on a bead with the lesson for that letter, and the child could hold the finished product when they needed a quiet time of prayer and meditation. So T is for thankfulness. That's a prayer of gratitude for all that we have. And even when times are hard, and maybe especially when times are hard, it can be helpful to stop and think of all that is good in our lives and to say thank you to God as we understand God, to the universe, to the highest, best part of ourselves, or even a quiet thank you to this community of family and friends that supports us and holds us up, holds us in that embrace of the interdependent web. Whereas Reverend Barbara's song says, we value every thread. Just taking the time to express that gratitude can be helpful, and it can begin to change your day if you do it on a regular basis. So T is for thankfulness. H is for hope. And so this can be something you are hoping for, and you pray for the best possible outcome, even if you don't know what that is. Or it can be part of your gratitude practice, and that you acknowledge the people and things in your life that give you hope in hard times. I is for insight. When you are seeking insight, when you pray for insight, you're praying really to see within. You're praying for understanding. Maybe a friend or a family member has really different views or opinions from your own, and you're trying to gain a better understanding of that person and maybe find a way to get along. And I know there is a lot of that right now, and a lot of people seeking insight into people that they love and value and care for. Maybe you're struggling with a hard decision in your own life, and you need some clarity. You need to better see the path ahead of you for that decision. And that's a time to seek insight. And finally, S is for sorrow or sorry. You can pray for peace and comfort in dealing with a loss or other sorrow in your life. You can pray for a friend who is going through sorrowful times. And remember a few weeks ago when we read a story about how sometimes when sadness comes, you just need to sit with it for a while and ask your sadness what it needs. And prayer is a way to do that, sitting in prayer. And the beads are just, there are many traditions that have beads. The Catholic tradition has rosary beads, the Buddhist tradition and the Zoroastrian tradition, I believe, both have prayer beads. There are many traditions that have some kind of something that you can hold in your hands that just gives you something tangible to help with your prayer practice. And Unitarian Universalists can do that too. We'll hear a little later in the service from one of our speakers. And by the way, I neglected in the announcement to thank all of our speakers today, but Barbara Deger, who will be on video, and Jennifer Russell and Rovena Windsor. I look forward to hearing from all of them, and I know that you do too. So even if you don't have beads and you're looking for a way to begin a prayer practice, try this. And the idea behind it was also that if someone asked a child or youth, what is that? They could say, oh, you mean this? So that was the other reason why we picked the word. And I thank you for listening to me, and I hope this might help you with your own prayer practice.
Good morning. For today's meditation, let yourself find a comfortable position, a position in which your body can be balanced and your spine straight. Begin with a deep, comfortable breath, shifting your attention to your heart space. And imagine breathing in and out of your heart. Allow your breath to deepen and slow. Allow your breath to be soft and kind. In this moment of sacred presence, reflect. Sometimes it seems I've made my home in an endless stream of words and thoughts. I have built images of self and other that carry me from day to day, but they do not stir the life in me. I have chased desires and fought my fears. I have climbed mountains and lost my way in deserts. And yet there is in me some depth my words have never reached, some truth that yet eludes my efforts. I hear the call of some deep need that seldom frames itself in words. And I know that there is more, far more than I have seen. Like a babbling brook that longs to meet the sea, the stream of life in me longs to embrace its source. Today, I will let this longing become my prayer. May I be a vessel filled with ever fresh and ever flowing life. May I be filled with gratitude to the mystery that calls the rose to bloom. May that boundless presence in me overflow as compassion and healing for my beloved community and for my world. May I awaken to the beauty that surrounds me, and may I be filled with joy. May I be shaken to the core with the dance that life can be, and may I sing life's song of all-embracing wholeness. May I open to the incandescent flame of love and lose myself in light. To this intimate, sacred moment, may I say yes. Here and now, I center in my breath. As I breathe in, I touch the mystery we all seek. And as I breathe out, my every step becomes a prayer.
is our life, we sing our thanks and praise, for all life is a gift which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad. For needs which others serve, for services we give, for work and its rewards, for hours of rest and love, we come with praise and thanks. For all that is our life, for sorrow we must bear, for failures, pain, and loss, for each new thing we learn, for fearful hours that pass, we come with praise and thanks. For all that is our life, for all that is our life, we sing our thanks and praise, for our life is our gift, which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad.
As I mentioned earlier, we have 3 members of our congregation that we've invited today to share their personal practice of prayer or centering or meditation or a combination of all of the above, and they too will share what they call it. And I will not take up any more of that time. Our first person to share is Barbara Deger, who needed to do this on video because she had her only opportunity to visit her husband Dusty this morning was at this time, but she graciously agreed to make a video for us. So, and by the way, I want to thank James Peck, who is running our slides today. We've given Brittany Turner a well-deserved break, and we really thank James for stepping in. And you can go ahead and play Barbara's video.
Good morning. As Susan said, my name is Barbara Deger, and I have been a member of the All Souls UU Church for about 4 years, even though I've attended for 9. And prayer, and that's something that I could talk about for a long, long time. But I'm going to keep this to the time limit. I do want to start with a funny story. Several months ago, when Dusty, and some of you remember Dusty, was in the hospital, and the chaplain came in and asked if we belonged to a church, and we said yes, we belong to All Souls UU Church. And after a short bit of conversation, he said, well, would you like to pray? And Dusty and I both said yes. And he looked at us and said, so you people pray? And it, to me, it just kind of, made me realize we are somewhat of a misunderstood congregation. But anyway, the UU affirmation itself has the word prayer in it. That particular line is, and service is our prayer. And I think it's really important. Service is really important. So I don't want to minimize that. But since we have such a broad theological spectrum in our church, there are different forms of prayers that different UUs use and also enjoy sharing. So I want to also say that out of deep respect for people who are non-believers, in some forms of prayer don't necessarily need God. And so, I want you to not turn off, but kind of hear what some of these forms of prayers are. Because I'm a huge believer in prayer. I think centering prayer is important. I think group prayers are important. And I think sometimes the body can dance a prayer. I think you can paint a prayer. That you can write a poem that is a prayer and sing a prayer. So there's all sorts of different forms of prayer. But one that I want to talk about today, for me, is prayer of gratitude, because those really fill my every many times during the day. And I'm not talking just about grace before meals. I'm thinking when you go outside for the first time in the morning and just look around, gratitude for everything surrounding you. And then sometimes there are those otherworldly experiences like the rainbow or the perfect sunset or Beethoven's Third Symphony, when you are just held by a feeling of gratitude for, these beautiful things in our world. I'm a big fan of Mary Oliver, the poet, and I wanted to share just a tiny excerpt from one of my favorite poems of Summer's Day. And she writes, "I don't know exactly what prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down in the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed." I think she expresses it extremely well. Now, to be honest, I have said many prayers of petition, which would be please, please prayers. Please help me pass the algebra test. Please help me find my contact lens. And I have to confess that I've bargained a lot of times with my please, please prayers. So if you heal my child, I will do anything you want. I will never make a mistake again, and throughout the years, I have come to believe that please, please prayers, prayers of petition are still very important. And I approach my higher power with, as a child, I have childlike wishes that I want. The difference is I don't dictate the outcome anymore. I finish those prayers by saying, help me accept. Because I've learned throughout the years that I don't know what needs to happen for that person. Sometimes I don't even know what needs to happen for me. Okay? And so I leave it with acceptance and being able to integrate whatever happens into the mosaic of my life. The final prayer I just want to mention today is a prayer based on the belief that all of us, and everything on earth is sacred, that we are all just a little piece of the divine, and that divine piece within us reaches out to others. Meister Eckhart, who was a German mystic, described it so well. He said, "The eye through which I see God is the same eye through which God sees me. My eye and God's eye, one seeing, one knowing, one love." I have come to believe that just holding someone in your heart and sending thoughts and energy can sometimes help. Be that an Afghan child, be that a family that was flooded by Ida, be that a dog that needs to be adopted, holding that person, that situation in your heart. And you gotta, you make a commitment. You make the commitment to put that person or that animal or that tree in front of you a lot. Put it on your to-do list. Put a picture of the person on your refrigerator. you make that commitment to hold that person or creature in your heart. And, you know, it's, I've often asked myself, you know, and I'm sure other people would ask too, you know, does that really make a difference? And does uniting prayer change anything? And I would have to answer honestly, I don't know. But it's like a bridge. It's like a reaching out or connecting that keeps me close to the spirit world, which is very important to me. And it's healing, and it's eternal, and it helps me see others with one knowing and one love. Thank you.
And next we'll hear from Rovena Windsor. Rovena is the leader of the Druid group that meets here at All Souls on Rock Fane and the Thistle Grove. And she will talk about her personal practice. Thank you, Rovena, for being with us.
Thank you, Susan. Susan asked my take on prayer and my spiritual practice. They are at once different and yet alike. It is common to think of prayer as a formally constructed praise or entreaty. Formulated prayers can inspire the worshiper and bring individuals into a common mindset. I have definitely written these and used them in ritual. Such formulated prayers can be a comfort when one needs a quick word. When I see a road-killed animal, I recite, "Go into the summerlands, that shell will avail you no more. From your death may life come." However, for me personally, prayers are more often fall into another category, conversation. Sometimes I have a conversation with one of the kindreds, nature spirit, ancestor, or deity. These conversations may be me talking about what's on my mind and listening for guidance. More often, though, I just sit and listen. To what? To whatever I can hear or sense. Sitting alone, surrounded by nature, and allowing myself to be aware of whatever there is to be aware of can be very helpful to a troubled mind. This allows the mind and the soul to hit pause and reset itself. Concentrated listening is a great way to come to new understandings. It works especially great when you use it while being with another person. It is amazing what you can learn when you quit trying to form responses and just listen to what's being said. There is another form of conversational prayer that is also a spiritual practice. It is one of the things that drew me to All Souls, service. There is no greater form of prayer than service. It is a conversation where no one is trying to convince the other of anything. It is merely a need that is being met. Two parties don't even need to know who each other are. Donating books to a free roaming library, helping evacuees, whether from weather or from political storms, feeding those in need, either in person or by donating to the food bank, donating blood. There is a service out there that each person can do regardless of their personal circumstance if they choose. Conversational prayer can also be a smile given to another person, allowing someone to go ahead of you in line. Don't think those are conversations? They are conversations of the soul, where words are unnecessary. Never underestimate the power or the need for kindness. Service is a prayer just like formulated prayers. It brings everyone involved into a state of community. It is neither healthy nor desirable to be isolated from the web that is community. The community web is greater than its individual parts, and we are greater for our parts in that web. Thank you.
Thank you, Rovena. I really appreciate that perspective. And finally, we have Jennifer Russell, who will share with us her personal practice.
Good morning, and thank you, Susan. So when Susan reached out to me about speaking this morning, among other questions, she asked me if I have a prayer practice. I really wasn't sure how to answer that simple question. I do have daily meditation and mindfulness practices, but I wasn't sure if what I do constitutes prayer. I grew up as a Christian, and I definitely prayed during those years. I prayed to a deity with whom I felt I had a personal relationship and whom I believed was responsive to my praises, requests, and complaints. As time has passed and I've moved away from Christianity, I'm still sorting out how I feel about any deity and her personal relationship to me, as well as my own ability to influence her to intervene in any particular situation. All of this leads to some confusion when your DRE asks you if you pray. So I pulled out the old high school essay writing technique and I looked up the definition of the word pray. To pray is to address a solemn request or expression of thanks to a deity or other object of worship. Or as an adverb, pray can be used as a preface to a polite request or set of instructions, as in pray tell. The latter definition really resonated with me, a preface to polite requests or instructions. And in this way, I think I do pray. When I hear about suffering, particularly suffering over which I have little direct control, I often incorporate the person or the situation into my meditation practice. I focus my meditation on that situation, the person and people affected, and I send love and strength and compassion to them. It's not necessarily directed toward a deity or a request that the deity intervene, but it does serve as a preface to polite requests or instructions to myself to, as Susan likes to say, put hands and feet on those prayers. I do this by acting in ways that I can to alleviate suffering, to walk out my gratitude in my daily life, to pass along whatever wisdom or blessings I have stumbled upon in this life, and to sit with those who are hurting, to engage in social justice work that dismantles systems that cause needless suffering. For me, the prayer is the preface, the beginning. It's beneficial to me as an outlet for my own emotional responses. It's a way of organizing my thoughts in preparation for action. I have found that it makes me more compassionate and that I feel more connected to others and to the source of life, whoever and whatever she is, even if I don't believe that I'm directly imploring her to act or intervene. I often need the reminder of the necessity of my own action. I need the reminder that I am among the ones that I've been waiting for. And that is perhaps the biggest shift in my prayer life since I became a Unitarian Universalist and a member of this congregation. Now, prayer is no longer an act of supplication of a helpless mortal to an omnipotent deity, but a preface to and preparation for action. It's self-care and mental hygiene for feelings and emotions that sometimes feel overwhelming. It's a means of crossing distances and divides that seem insurmountable. And as our unison affirmation says, it's a preface to service and possibly an act of service in and of itself. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer, and thank you, all of you, Rovena and Barbara too. I love hearing all of your perspectives. I was asked when I came up with the idea for the service, and by the way, the title for the service, probably you've already realized, is because we say every week, and service is its prayer. And so that's why prayer is our prayer too, you know, that I wanted to make that point. But I was asked to talk a little bit about my personal practice, and it incorporates a lot of what everyone has said. I hold the names of people that I know are having trouble or that I know have experienced loss or that have passed on. I hold those names in my heart and say them often out loud and speak to a presence that I feel that is within and around me. And I don't really, beyond that, I'm comfortable calling it God, but I also know that that word is not comfortable for everyone. So I try to address other people in the language that they will hear, that will resonate with them. At the same time, of course, from here, I have often encouraged people to use their universal translators. And when someone says, I'll be praying for you, that is great to me. But I know that might, not feel good to someone else. So I try to be really aware of what people want and need for their own spirituality. I have a meditation practice in that I try to do it every day. I will say that I don't live up to that always, but I try to sit. Larry, I've learned a lot from Larry about meditation, and I also will do things like, and this was better when I was in the All Souls office with that computer because it was really slow, but I would actually do the reboot the computer meditation where, okay, there's nothing I can do right now while this happens, and I am going to sit and learn patience and just be still with myself. And I do the same thing if I'm stopped at the train, and the train is going by, and if I was in a hurry, and I used to get so tense, and now I find I can just say, well, here I am. Here are all these other people behind me and in front of me. We're all in the same boat. I reach out to them and wish for them the patience that I need for myself, and that has helped. Those little moments of meditation at odd times like that help. I write prayers. I journal, and that to me is a form of prayer. And a dear friend who has passed on, I meant to bring the picture with me. She became a minister late in her life, Scotty McIntyre Johnson. She taught me about a practice called praying in color. And everyone who knows me knows that I doodle. I doodle almost compulsively. But I have found that sometimes I will just write the name of the person and then just draw around it, kind of designs and pictures and words, just whatever comes to mind. And do it with a pen or do it with markers, whatever is available. And that has been a form of prayer for me as well. So that's just a little bit about my practice. And if you would like to, in the Facebook comments, kind of tell us what you do, or if you would like to join us for the virtual coffee hour right after this. I've been in Upton, host that, and we would love to see you there and hear about your practice. And again, I want to thank our speakers today, Barbara, Rovena, and Jennifer. And our closing hymn will be Reverend Meg Barnhouse's song, All Will Be Well, and the lyrics will be on the screen. And I invite you to sing along.
I said, Julian, you are holy, you are holding my hand, and Julian, you are holy, you are holding my hand. She said, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. I said, Julian, do you not know about sorrow? And Julian, do you not know about pain? And I said, Julian, do you not know about hunger? And Julian, do you not know about shame? But she said, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. I said, Julian, do you not know about loneliness? And Julian, do you not know about disease? And I said, Julian, do you not know about cruelty? I said, Julian, it's too much, it brought me to my knees. But she said, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. And she said, no one does not one does not know about loneliness, and no one does not know about disease. And she said, no one does not know about cruelty. She said, I know it's too much. It brought me to my knees, where I heard all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. I said, Julian, you are holy, you are holding my hand, and Julian, you are holy, you are holding my hand. She said, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. And she said, baby girl, do you not know about tenderness? She said, baby girl, do you not know about friends? And she said, baby girl, do you not know about the spirit? She said, baby girl, do you not know it's only love that never ends? And so all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. And so all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well.
Thank you so much to Reverend Meg. I have one more thank you this morning, and that's to Kevin, who's been sitting in here, and I know Reverend Barbara has talked about that before, how nice it is to have another person here in the sanctuary. So I look forward to the day when there can be many more people in the sanctuary, but I'm very happy that you're here. From the Reverend Marta Valentin. When I think of prayer, I think of continuity with all those who have offered prayers over time. I grew up seeing my mother pray her rosary daily. As a child, I didn't really understand it. But as I grew older, I realized it allowed her a tiny space away from the commotion of her life. My mother's prayer to us as we left her presence is stitched into my ordination stole. Que Dios y la Virgen te acompañe siempre. May God and the Virgin Mary accompany you always. And I apologize for my Spanish. Prayers are my touchstone. Regardless of what's happening, in prayer I find my power. It brings me solace, and it sets me right again in my mind and in my heart. Prayer is the deepest longings of my soul, manifested into words and actions. And from the Reverend Eric Walker Wickstrom, prayer is not about leading the universe towards some desired outcome. It is about our willingness to be led to greater consciousness, compassion, and connection. And finally, one of my favorite prayers from the Reverend Mary Catherine Mourn and Jason Shelton, life calls us on. Peace and blessings. Ashe. Amen. Blessed be. Thanks.
Yeah.